Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And for another movie review, reviewing another film for 1997 for its 20th anniversary. And this is another film that I really do enjoy. I really enjoy this film. I would recommend this film. Um, it's a film that stars Michael Douglas, and it's a really interesting film. And it's called The Game. Now, The Game so it stars Michael Douglas and also stars Sean Penn as well. And I really do enjoy this film, and I would think it's probably one of the best film from this director, because it says here it's from the director of Seven, which is director David Fincher. Now, with the list of films from David Fincher, like I said, he directed Seven, which I like, but the list of other films that goes for director David Fincher. I know he directed The Social Network, which I don't like. I never cared for the Social Network, but when I saw it, I just did not like it at all. Which I don't get all the praise for it though, me personally. Plus, I don't care for Jesse Eisenberg. And then he also directed Panic Room with Jodie Foster and Forest Whitaker. I like. Fight Club, I have to give another watch because I haven't seen that film in a long time. But um, Zodiac, which was the one that based on the Zodiac killer, which I haven't seen forever, but I remember kind of buying it decently, being decent. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button with Brad Pitt. I've never seen before. I just never cared for seeing it anyway. Alien 3, which that's the worst film that comes from the guy, which that was his first film, but I hate Alien 3. Then the Social Network, then The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, still not yet seen, and then Gone Girl, which that one I still haven't seen, but I'll give it a watch because it has Ben Affleck in it because I like Ben Affleck. But The Game, I think I think this is the guy's best film because I really enjoy the premise of the film, and I think that Michael Douglas does a really excellent job in this film. I think it's pretty much my favorite film from Michael Douglas. I think did a really terrific job in this film, and the film got a lot of praise. It's a high 7.8 in IMDb, and I think it has a 70 something on Rotten Tomatoes. Forget the rating there though, but and on here from Embassy TV Chicago. This is a must see thriller, a true 10. I would give it a 10 too. The Game. Joel Siegel again from Good Morning America says The Game is a winner. Michael Douglas is terrific. I would agree with that. Rex Reed of E Entertainment Television says so thrilling it'll knock your socks off. And well, I would call it thrilling. And this here from USA Today, the mind game of all time. Well, it does it makes you think, but it's not all time. Well, probably not, but it is a really interesting premise. Now, with the film, as the premise is, Michael Douglas, he's a rich guy, he's an investment banker, and he's pretty much isolated himself from everyone, because he still is, well, I'm not saying haunted, but, so there's another word for something like that, Well, because years ago, like his dad committed suicide. I believe he jumped off the building, jumped off the building, and he's still trying to. He still thinks about that, and he has he has an ex-wife, nothing to do with that, and he has his younger brother played by Sean Penn, and he's just he's a loner. He's obsessed with his job, and he doesn't want to be around anybody. So he's pretty much a loner, and still thinking of the death of his father as well. And for his 48th birthday, which is the same age that his dad committed suicide, Sean Penn comes to see him and gives him a gift, a birthday gift, which is a card, which is called Consumer Recreation Services, CRS, and which this is something that Sean Penn has been to before, and it says to change his life forever. And he tells him, call this number, it'll make your life fun. And he says that it's a game, and that's what it is. It is a game. And he goes there, and he doesn't make him do like some of these tests, and like one of those things you see for the eye doctor, seeing these signs, and what do you see here and all that. And which I find kind of fun, because when I saw this film years ago, I really didn't pay attention because I was just watching it as usual, and I didn't really pay full much attention. But this is something you have to, when we watch a second time, you get the idea of all this. Okay, this is what happens and this and that. But if you notice though, like there's a picture where he's looking, there's a car going off, veering off road and then crashing somewhere, and the guy's like, "What do you see?" And he's like, "Goes, whoops." And which is something that happens later where Michael Douglas, he's in a taxi, and it goes off the road and it falls into the water. So that's kind of plays on something like that, which is something. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't really notice it the first time I watched it all years ago. But when you watch it, when I've been watching it nowadays, it's like, oh, okay, I totally understand that. This is how it's got part that's gonna come more take part later in the film. And the whole thing is this. All this is pretty much all this has been pretty much a game, but he does not know that and that's what how the premise is. It plagues in Michael Douglas's mind if everything is just real or not, though, and it makes him on edge and paranoid on stuff like that. And that's what I like about it. It was kind of a different way of intriguing type of take on a person who on changing someone's life, basically, because he is actually in real life that the film that he is sort of like becoming like his dad, and when he goes through all this stuff, there's all these series of events, it changes him, and which by the end of the film, I was like, because by the end of the film, I was like, oh, I was like, I feel kind of happy for this person because he I think he now understands how he will not be like his dad. But and actually the way on the trivia is that it's taking a play on A Christmas Carol. It tells like how a rich lonely man like Michael Douglas. It's kind of like the way be playing out of Scrooge basically though, but who you view scenes of past, present, and future, leading him to. I'm reading off what the trivia says that reevaluating his life and changing for the better. That's basically what it is. How this game is making him. How it's presenting him to. And the whole series of events is like one part where. Like, for instance, like how this scene right here. Like, where he's entering when he's at his home, and everything is like all these neon colors. Like, it's like the color. It's like the colors, like the type of you see for with a black light. When a black light shows all these neon colors in the dark. That's how it plays out. That's how it plays out in his home, where everything is like that. And for another scene where there's this clown doll, and he's looking into it, and then the news comes on, and it's actually the news anchor talking to him through this television, and there's a camera inside the clown doll eye, and then everybody around him, which sorry, I had to sneeze. But questioning everyone around who is either a part of this or is not. Oh man, this is one of my nose real stuff that I sneeze bunch more times. But like for going, I know I'm going all over the place, but I thought just how it's this type of film that you really need to watch and set your mind to and be into this and try to follow up on this. It's that type of film that's really intriguing about. Sorry about that. It's just that I cut out the part where all the sneezes I have, because once my allergies keep on going, it's hard for me to stop. But just how this thing really is making Michael Douglas feel on edge. Like, where once he tries to get the police, and then he goes back to the place where the building is, where Consumer Recreation Services was called, and they find the building is abandoned, or when he goes to the hospital, everybody is gone, all that, and tries to talk with the waitress, and even maybe meets up with Sean Penn again, which he is not in it for just that much though, but I think that Sean Penn still does a good job still. And when he meets with Sean Penn, because he thinks he's under attack from the company, he's like, I paid the bills, I gave the money. And then when he's talking with Michael Douglas, and he gets a flat tire, and he finds all these Sean Penn finds all these CRS keys in the glove compartment, and says, "You're in with them. You're all about." It's like, you're in with them. It's like, I'm in. It was like, you made. I was like, you made me go see them, whatever. And then he goes and runs away. And then one thing at least, he gets into this cab where he gets into the cab, and like the cab driver jumps out of the car, and he veers the car right into the river or lake, or no, actually not lake. It's I'll probably say river. I would say because I think it's in California, so I think it's a river or a canal, or just say. And it's just like how in the photo, like how it was in the when we were taking the test with the car veering off. That's what happens. And he eventually he's like, oh, it's a game. It's just a game. And one part where he and the woman, the waitress, they were being chased by dogs, and he loses a shoe. Because like, oh, that was $1,000 shoe. And when we meets up with her again, like he gets drugged, and he gets left off in Mexico, and he's left, he's inside a tomb, and he's getting out, and but eventually he has to sell his watch. Which I think that was given to him by his dad, but he sells it, and then when he comes back to his house, everything has been moved, but he gets a gun, and he calls his ex-wife, Which I'm not sure if it was she a part of it though. Which I don't think she wasn't. Part of me wondered that though, but I'm pretty sure that she did not know all this was going on. But he does apologize, for him mistreating her and everything, and so he does apologize for that. And he goes to visit the guy who works for the CRS, played by James Rebhorn, which the guy I mostly remember him. He was in Independence Day. He was the Secretary of Defense who knew about Area 51, which Bill Pullman says, well, my mistake was I employed a sniveling little weasel like you, Secretary of Defense. Mr. Nimziki, you're fired. Yeah, the Secretary of Defense, that's James Rebhorn. He's in this. He works as the guy who works for the company. So he gets him to go to the company, and he's holding him at gunpoint until he meets up with the girl again, who is who's in on this. The girl who's the waitress. The character's name is Christine. And he's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" He's like, "I'm back from the dead." So he takes her, and there's a shootout where Jason he gets shot though, but it's all fake though. And then once it leads to another, he gets onto the rooftop, and this is where he's like really all starting to lose it, and everything. It's like, who's doing this to me? Who set this up? And it was like, where'd you get this gun? It's like, I got it. So it must be fake. Well, you must have missed this one. And he's like, I'm gonna kill you. And then people coming through this to the door, and think it's more people that are coming after him. And she's trying to explain everything, that it's all fake. Your brother, the James Rebhorn, he's alive, and your brother's on the other side of the door. It's your birthday and all that. And he's like, bullshit. And then when the doors open, he shoots, and it's Sean Penn, in which he thinks he shot him. But you can tell this everything. I'll get to her in a second though. But he shoots him, and he's like totally all distraught that he shot his brother. And now his mind is all lost. And then he goes and does what his dad did. He goes and commits suicide and jumps off the building. And he's just falling through. He falls through this glass, and then he lands on this huge airbag. Which, that's this. What the whole thing is, this whole entire time, it was all a game. And his brother comes, he's like, he's like, happy birthday, Nicky. And he's like, what is this? It's your birthday present. And other than Sean Penn, he holds up his shirt. He's like, I was drugged up, left for dead in Mexico, and all I got was a stupid T-shirt. And then Michael Douglas. I felt for Michael Douglas for this, where he was just he was all. I think sure he was all relief, but he goes and breaks down crying, and Sean Penn like goes and hugs him. He's like, "How to do it? You're becoming such an asshole." And he says, ladies and gentlemen, my brother Nicholas Van Horn. Because everyone at his birthday party is by all the people that he's works for, and and then everything is all fine and dandy, and then he's like talking and at the party and all that, and the Sean Penn had set this whole thing up because he didn't want him to be like his father, because otherwise he would have taken his own life and done the same thing. So Sean Penn basically changed his brother's whole life around, turned his whole life around basically. And just the games is, I didn't go too much of this because I think I recommend the film. I strongly suggest you check this one out. So plus my sinuses just really screwed me over in this one though, but regardless, so I'm still keep on doing what I'm doing, so I'm not gonna let that stop me. But the game, I think it's a really interesting film. I just highly enjoyed the film. Michael Douglas, I think he did such a fantastic job. Sean Penn, he was in it for a little bit, but to the end, I still think he did a good job because I like Sean Penn. I think it was well directed. I liked how the way it was well handled. The film looked really good, and just interesting ideas, and the premise was intriguing. That for Michael Douglas's character, he's if he's been a loner his whole life, and now he's into this program, he's taking everything. Is everything not what it seems to be, or is it the game, or is it real? And he's been living on edge, and he's getting really paranoid. Everything around him, and just really everything around him. And by the end, everything was all a part of the game to change his life around, because otherwise he would have been eventually would have been like his father. And Sean Penn, because he said he took this whole thing and said he changed his life, and he wanted to do the same thing for his brother because he's been like his father. So now he made him kind of like be reborn, and now he doesn't have to live like that anymore. And now he finally sees that, and I just really liked it, and just this is why I sort of think this is David Fincher's best film, because I like Seven though, but this film just had a much interesting premise, and I think it's a really I would call this, I would give it a 10. I really would. I really would give this a 10 out of 10. It was just I would call it a very smart script, written by John Brancato and Michael Ferris. I think it's a really well-made script. I really do enjoy this, because just how for this one guy who's been like, yeah, it's kind of like way like Scrooge though, but he doesn't take people's money and all that stuff like that. But in a way like Christmas, a weird way of a Christmas Carol, how he's just trying to change. His life is being changed. So Michael Douglas, I'll probably say it's pretty much my favorite film from Michael Douglas. I pretty want to say that. And I do like him when he play. I do like when he played Hank Pym in Ant-Man. I really loved him playing Ant-Man as Hank Pym. I didn't mean playing starring in Ant-Man as Hank Pym. I really enjoyed Michael Douglas in that film. I would not look forward to him coming back in Ant-Man and the Wasp. But I like Michael Douglas. I always enjoy Michael Douglas as an actor anyway. So. But I'll pretty much say I call this pretty much my favorite film, because I think it's just how he gives such an excellent performance in this film. But I don't know what I can say. I would advise. I would recommend it. I would definitely give this film 2 thumbs up. I would give it. That's how much I love this film. But I probably would have been better because my sinuses just screwed me over. It's making me talk different to how the way I usually do my reviews, because once I like in the middle of the review, something distracts me, or something like this messes me up. It's hard for me to come back making how the way it was. So, but regardless, though, it doesn't express my my best interest in the film. Still, good premise, interesting premise, I would say, intriguing, excellent performances. Michael Douglas, I will give Sean Penn as well, because for his character, how the way he does in the film. Smart script, well made, well directed. I think this is why David Fincher, I think he did a great job directing. The score by Howard Shore, I think it's a very decent score. I would give it that too. And I think it's a well paced film. I think it's over two. It's like where's the right time? Yeah, it's like 2 hours and 128 minutes. So it's over 2 hours. But I think it's a well paced film. So I think it wasn't slow and it wasn't boring. because it was what made it go fast, because it was my interest in the premise of this whole film that made me kept on going and make the film go faster. So so yeah. But yeah, this is definitely worth reviewing for a 20th anniversary movie review. My favorite film from Michael Douglas, and The Game. I would definitely give it a 10. And plus, I like the cover of this posters too. It's like how the piece of the puzzles that he has to put together and all this. I think that's a cool poster as well. But and then it's like it performed well. Well, the box office worldwide made 109 million worldwide. It got a lot of praise. Whereas Rodriguez, he gave this film 3.5 stars out of 4. He praising Michael Douglas's as a right actor for the role. He can play smart, he can play cold, and he can play angry, which is all the things the character does in the film: cold, angry, and all that. Also, he is also subtle enough that he would never arrive. He never arrives at an emotional plateau. Remember the word was before the film does. He never overplays the process of his inner change. Yeah, because like inner change, yeah, because how the way his character's going through the film, it changes him, and I think I don't know more I can say about the film. So yeah, I'm just keep on going though. But I don't think it's a film I have no problems with. It's a really interesting, intriguing thriller. I don't know more how much more of a pass I can give this film. But if you have not seen it, I would recommend checking out The Game. I would definitely give a cheers for that, I would say. But yeah, so this is my 20th anniversary movie review of The Game. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.